same time.
So much so that even Paul Volcker is worried whether the Federal Reserve, I'm paraphrasing here, got itself into a pickle. In other words, and compromised its own balance sheet. What do you think of that?
We've moved a lot of assets out of the capital markets and the banking system into the Federal Reserve. It's been a big liquidity
Let's
facility.
say it had not done any of that. Where would we be?
Hard to say. I think the system, when we looked at where we were in March, I think the system needed to stop at that point because we were moving into uncharted territories very quickly. And when you look at what the valuations associated with Bear Stearns and how fast that happened in less than a week, it tells you that people were wondering if that goes, what's next and what's after that.
Well, weren't people saying at the time, too, that if the insurers, you and the MBACs, were in trouble and all of that, then the financing for everything from buildings and bridges and vast public projects would be compromised and there would be hell to pay. We're over that concern.
Yeah, that part is past. I think the perception and in a sense, the amount of credit exposure that all the banks and the investment banks had to the bond insurers has been significantly reduced and recognized, mainly by hedging into different markets and protecting themselves from any additional write-downs.
What about you, specifically? That's the same case?
In our case, we don't go out and hedge against our own exposures. We basically have to live with every credit we write, and we never trade them. And so we actually ride those credits all the way out.
And you've ridden those credits to the point of being so conservative going forward that you're prepared for 10 times the pain that you've already felt, essentially.
Basically, that's what if we look at our numbers and try and work through it, the kind of numbers we're recognizing versus what the market thinks might happen, it's probably at least 5 to 8 times greater than what we've experienced so far.
All right. Now, some will criticize you for being way, way, way cautious. You'd rather be in that case.
Actually, I don't think many people are criticizing us for being too cautious.
But I mean, we're building up that kind of...
Well, no, the rating, if you look at the rating agencies, we have 2 rating agencies that have us rated AAA with a negative outlook. When that basically means until this housing crisis settles down, they're not yet comfortable that our estimates are accurate. And so what they're saying is...
Well, there could be hell to pay if that rating is compromised.
It's part of the process of it feeds on itself, and there's a bit of tumbling on that goes on. But it's one of the risks that we live with in running our business.
One of the reasons why Warren Buffett was kind of looking at your whole business and saying maybe it got too far too fast was that we would still need guys like you. You wouldn't go away. What do you think of that?
I think the bond business is going to be here for a long time into the future. I don't think we're going away. And I think when Warren looked at the business, what he saw was credit conditions were so severe that what you could charge for selling credit protection was extremely high. That caught his interest.
Did you ever talk to him?
Have I ever talked to Warren?
Yeah, that whole stuff came up.
I actually wasn't at MBIA when it all started.
Right,
I was actually in retirement at that time.
And you had the baptism by fire.
Yeah.
Jay Brown, very good seeing you. See how this goes. Hope you weather the storm. Because as you go, I guess the rest of the world goes. All right, so we're wishing you well. Jay Brown, thank you very much. The man.
Pleasure to be here.